$1,000 on the lines for your POWRi Super Stocks. $1,000 going to go to the winner of your Super Stock feature here a little bit later tonight. All right, race fans, here we go. The lights are down. They're going to go into turn number 4. Coming out of turn 4, green flag is going to be in the air for heat number 1, 8 laps around. Dale Berry going to lead them on down to 1 and 2. Here comes that 40B of Shane Bias right to the back bumper. Danny O'Neill going to be sitting in that number 3 spot. Then you got Ted. I'm having a trouble speaking here. You got Ted Welchmeyer and the 16 to Logan Thompson going to battle out for that number 4 and 5 spot. As here comes Tony Anglin up into the number 6 spot. As they're going to go down through 1 and 2. A lot of smoke coming off that C4 car of Mike Cole, but out front it is all the 05 Dale Berry as he's going to cross the stripe, followed in by Shane Bias, Danny O'Neill, Ted Welchmeyer, and the 16 of Logan Thompson going to round out your top 5. Welchmeyer bobbled it. Here comes Thompson and Anglin around as it is still the 05 out front. Ted Welchmeyer going to get back up into that number 5 spot ahead of the G1 of Tony Anglin. That's the battle we're looking at right now on the track as they're going to go down the backstretch. Dale Berry clear, clean, and rolling green as he's out front. That 40B of Shane Bias is all over his back bumper. Danny O'Neill bobbled it coming out of 4, and that let Thompson and Welchmeyer come around up into the 3 and 4 spot. Now Michael Muskrat and Tony Anglin back here at the back part of the field going to be duking it out as the C4 of Mike Cole going to be making a hard right-hand turn to pit road as they come through 1 and 2. You got Berry and Bias out front. Here we go. New race leader, the 40B of Shane Bias. Slingshots his way up into that number 1 spot on the top shelf around the 05 of Dale Berry. As they're going to go down the backstretch, 2 to go. As they go into 3, the 16 of Logan Thompson sits in that number 3 spot. They're going to come out of turn 4. Going to see the white flag. One more trip around for heat 1 of your POWRi Super Stock. 1,000 to win night. Now the 16 of Thompson trying to get up and around the 05 of Dale Berry. It's time to make it or break it as they go into 3 for the final time. Coming out of turn number 4 to the checkered flag. Going to be the 40B of Shane Bias. Dale Berry, Logan Thompson, your top 3. And that will wrap up heat number 1 for your POWRi Super Stocks. Coming out onto the track right now, going to be heat number 2. Starting on the poles, going to be the 56 of Mark Davis, and to his outside, the 68 of Dean Wiley. Row number 2 is going to be the 21C of Sean Clare and the 73 of Francisco Escamilla. Row 3, you got the 2A of Ace O'Neill and the 1J of Josh Jones. And riding shotgun to row number 4, going to be the 11 of Derek Brown. Here we go, down into turn 3. Davis, Wiley going to be on that front row. Claire and Escamilla, row number 2. Coming out of turn number 4. No start, no start, no start. All right, looks like we're going to double them back up and try this one more again. Out of turn. Nope, just kidding. Down into turn 3, third time's the charm. Green flag is in the air. Dean Wiley going to lead them on down to the 1 and 2. Mark Davis, Francisco Escamilla is going to be there. Here comes the 1J of Josh Jones. As Derek Brown going to be sitting in that number 5 spot. They're going to go through 3 and 4. As lap 1 going to go to Dean Wiley. Mark Davis second, and Francisco Escamilla sits in third. But now look at this. Escamilla got to run on the top shelf, as he's going to be up and into the number 2 spot. Francisco Escamilla's got something cooking on the top side as he's to the back bumper of Dean Wiley. Mark Davis going to try to hold on to that number 3 spot, but he's got Josh Jones and Derek Brown all over his back bumper as they're going to come out of turn number 4. It is still Wiley, Escamilla, Davis, your top 3, Jones and Brown, your top 5. Ace O'Neill going to be sitting there in that number 6 spot. And Sean Clare going to be round out your field. Kind of single file right now. Everybody kind of just holding their position. Oh, Sean Clare's got a flat right rear tire, but you know what? He says send it. And that's what he's doing. He's sending it. He's not letting up. He's going to stay out there and finish this race. Now Mark Davis got to run down on the bottom side of Escamilla. They're going to be door to door. Derek Brown going to be up into that number 4 spot as they go through 3 and 4. It is still Dean Wiley, Escamilla, Davis, Brown, Jones, and O'Neill. As lap traffic now in the way of your race leaders, as Dean Wiley's going to execute it quickly, and he's got the white flag. Escamilla, Davis, Brown, they're all around. Down the back stretch and into 3 for the final time. They're going to go coming out of turn number 4 to the checkered flag. The 68 of Dean Wiley, Escamilla, and Davis, your top 3. Now we got some Young Gun Hornets, ladies and gentlemen. These are young drivers, 17 and younger. 17 and younger. On the pole, going to be the 3C of Charlie O'Neill, and to his outside, the 25 of Rhett Edgar. Row number 2 is going to be the 10 of Colton Brown, and the 23 of Preston Higgins. Green flag, and we're going to be 3 wide right off the get-go. As Edgar going to come out to that race lead. Brown going to be sitting there in second. O'Neill going to hold on to third, and the 23 of Preston Higgins going to round out your field as they're going to go through 3 and 4. Oh, now Preston Higgins going to come up into that top 3. Again, folks, these are young gun Hornets. These drivers are kids under the age of 17. These are kids out here rocking and rolling around this track, putting on a show for you fans. Some of these drivers are only 12, 13, 14 years old. Don't even have a driver's license yet, and they're out here ripping it in the dirt. It is the 25 of Rhett Edgar, your race leader, followed in by Colton Brown. Preston Higgins going to take over that number 3 spot, and Charlie O'Neill going to round out your field. Your race leader, Rhett Edgar, going to come out of turn number 4, and he's going to see 2 more trips around. 2 to go for the 25 of Rhett Edgar. Down into 3 they're going to go. Your race leader again, that 25 of Rhett Edgar out of Camdenton, Missouri, leading the charge. Colton Brown sitting there in second out of Crane, Missouri. Preston Higgins out of Osage Beach, Missouri sits in third, and Charlie O'Neill out of Osage Beach, Missouri rounds out your field. With the white flag in the air, your race leader is going to come to the checkered flag, the 25 of Rhett Edgar. Colton Brown second. And as long as he can make it, the 23 of Preston Higgins is going to take that number 3 spot. That's going to wrap up heat number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Up next going to be heat number 2 for your young gun Hornets. We got 8 of them in the house tonight. The feature is going to be awesome. So on the pole, you got the 66 of Max Dublin into his outside, the 18K of Connor Reed. Now, Connor Reed has won the last 2 Young Gun Hornet races. So tonight, okay, so I just been told the 18K of Connor Reed is not going to run his heat race. So that is going to, since the 18K of Connor Reed is not going to run the heat race, that is going to move the 8 of Carter Parrish up to the outside of row 1. And the 18 of Treston Higgins is going to be on that second row by himself. Here we go. Green flag out of turn number 4. Max Dublin, Carter Parrish take off on a rail. But here comes the 18 of Treston Higgins. Oh, Max Dublin going to chop the nose. As they're going to go through 3 and 4. Parrish trying to get up and find a way around the 66 of Max Dublin as he's all over the back bumper. He's going to shoot down to the bottom side, not able to make it stick. As Max Dublin going to hold on to the lead, going out of 2 down the back stretch. Carter Parrish still trying to run down that 66 of Max Dublin as they go down through 1 and 2. Treston Higgins sitting. Oh! Carter Parrish got way up off the track. He definitely elbows up as he comes out of turn 4. He gets so close to the wall. He's definitely wearing his brown suit right now because I'm wearing my. He did it again. Oh! A little bit of light. Oh, here we go. Some right side romance and left side loving between Parrish and Higgins as they come out of turn 4. Parrish going to hold on to that number 2 spot, but Max Dublin says, you know what? Y'all have fun. I'm out of here. See you. Bye-bye. Those cars are getting awful dicey coming out of 2. White flag is in the air for the 66 of Max Dublin. As he's got one more trip around. Now Max goes way up. Oh, they're making me nervous. Way up the hill goes Max Dublin through 2. Now your race leader going to come out of turn number 4 to the checkered flag, the 66 of Max Dublin. Carter Parrish second, and Treston Higgins all 3. Here comes your POWRi B-Mod. Heat number 1 on the pole, going to be the 68 of Donnie Betts, and to his outside, the 5 of Robert White. Row number 2, going to be the 11 of Waylon Dimmitt and the 20D of Dawson David. Row 3, you got the 29 of Bronson Wicker and the 65 of Chris Jackson. Row 4, you got the 42J of Donnie Jackson and the 2 of Eric Graves. Hey, where's your umbrella at? Oh, it's over there. Green flag is going to be in the air as we're going to hustle on down on a 1 and 2. Robert White going to jump out to that early race lead. Here comes Chris Jackson. 3 deep, time to sell it cheap. Coming out of 2 down the back stretch between Dimmitt, David, and Jackson. Now Jackson's going to get the daily double. Going to chuck 2 of them off as he's up into that number 3 spot. Robert White trying to get away as fast as possible early on. Oh, Eric Graves up the hill, saves it. Has Chris Jackson now up into that number 2 spot, trying to run down the 5 of Robert White. Top 6 cars throw a blanket on them as it is Robert White, Chris Jackson, Waylon Dimmitt, your top 3, Donnie Betts, David Dawson. Dawson David, I said it backwards. And then the 29 of Bronson Wicker. Now Dawson David and Donnie Betts duking it out for 4th and 5th. Betts goes way up the hill. That's going to let Dawson David around into the number 4 spot. It is still Robert White, your race leader, as they come out of 4, going to cross the stripe. Chris Jackson still trying to run him down. Kind of single filed out right now. The 20D of Dawson David all over the back bumper of Waylon Dimmitt. Jackson going to move up a little bit higher on the track, going to try to see if, oh, look out, Eric Graves goes around in 3 and 4, right in the middle, and he's gonna park it, and that is a yellow flag. Yellow is out, yellow is out. Oh, look out. Our first caution of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Very first caution of the night. Better hurry up and get that umbrella. The race is about to start. All right, here we go down the back stretch. Delaware double file restart. Lights are down. Keep the flag man going to do the jig. Green flag is going to be up and out and in the air. They're going to motor off down in a 1 and 2. Robert White, your race leader. Chris Jackson, Waylon Dimmitt, your top 3. Dawson David going to be sitting in 4th. Donnie Betts, 5th. Betts all over the back bumper there of Dawson David as they come through 3 and 4. It is still Robert White. Jackson going to go to the top shelf, going to diamond it off, going to come out the bottom side of turn 2. He's got to run down the back stretch. You got a new race leader going into turn 3. Can he hold on as they're going to go through 3 and 4? Bang, got him. New race leader with 1 to go. The 65 of Chris Jackson is no stranger to the mighty Midway. He knows this track like the back of his eyelids, as he's going to go down the back stretch for the final time. Down into turn 3, coming out of turn number 4, the checkered flag for the 65 of Chris Jackson. Robert White, 2nd, and Waylon Dimmitt, your top 3. And that's going to be the end of heat number 1. Up next, going to be heat number 2 for your POWRi B-Mods. On the pole is going to be the 5C of Brian Cook and his outside, the 49 of Mason Rodden. Row number 2 going to be the 14C of Cody Crabtree and the 55 of Colson Kirk. Row 3, you got the 16M of Brian Myers and the 15 of Jeremy Hazel, but I think the 15 is actually the 77. And then you got the 4, the 55G of Luke Gideon, and that 4th and final row. Yes, so my race pass has Jeremy Hazel as the 15, but he is actually the 77 on the card. So don't get confused, those of you watching at home on Show Me Dirt. Hey, you better put the umbrella up. I'm gonna go steal her umbrella. Here we go, coming out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air for our second and final heat. 3 wide right off the start down into turn 1. They're going to go. Oh, Colson Kirk going to get the daily double. As he's going to get the 2-for-1 special from 4th to 2nd just like that. Brian Cook on the pole, going to take the top shelf around, but here comes that 55 of Colson Kirk. Colson Kirk going to go down on the bottom side. Down into 3, they're going to go. Out of turn 4, it is Colson Kirk, your race leader. Brian Cook, Cody Crabtree, your top 3. Followed in by Mason Rodden, Brian Myers, Luke Gideon, and Jeremy Hazel. Oh, look at that, Brian Myers. Mason Rodden got a little bit of right side romance and left side loving going on down the backstretch. As Colson Kirk retains the lead, it is Cody Crabtree now up into that number 2 spot. Brian Cook going to shuffle on back into the number 3 spot. Luke Gideon up to 4th. As Myers and Rodden got into it last lap, and that allowed Gideon to get around. They're going to go through 3 and 4 single file. Now Jeremy Hazel gets around Rodden. As Mason Rodden trying to get that top side of the speedway in. Nothing there just yet. It is still the 55 of Colson Kirk out front. Cody Crabtree 2nd. Brian Cook 3rd. Then you got Luke Gideon and Brian Myers, your top 5, followed in by Jeremy Hazel and Mason Rodden. 2 laps to go for the 55. Can he hold on? Down through 3 and 4. Doctor's jacket in the air. 1 more trip around. Look out. Brian Cook bobbled it. Luke Gideon now up into the number 3 spot. Now, oh, Brian Cook's off the power. Brian Cook off the power. Everybody's going to come around. As the checkered flag waves for the 55 of Colson Kirk, Cody Crabtree, Luke Gideon, your top 3. And Brian Cook is at a standstill back there on the backstretch. So the Midway Speedway safety crew going to go over there and give Brian Cook a hand. Hopefully he can get that hot rod fixed and get back out here for the feature a little bit later tonight after the kids' candy scramble at intermission. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the starting lineup for our second and final, or our first heat of POWRi Pure Stocks. On the poles, the 5 of Justin McDowell. And to his outside, the 17 of Andrew Rourke. Oh, Andrew Rourke. I thought that was Logan earlier. So it's Andrew Rourke. Row number 2 is going to be the 14 of Derek Davis and the 19 of Trenton Houston. Row 3, you got the N42 of Chad Nivens and the 42 of Trevor Ellingson. And your 4th and final row all by himself, Mark Big Daddy Simon. Green flag is in the air as we're going to hustle down into 1 and 2. The 17 of Andrew Roark. Uh-oh, Mark Simon has come to a stop at the bottom of 1 and 2. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. So the first caution of this heat race coming out for the 23 of Mark Simon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Lights are down. They will be green flag when we come out of turn number 4. McDowell, Roark on that front road. Davis and Houston, row number 2. Nivens and Ellingson, row number 3. And Simon back there at the back part of the field. Into 3. Green cones when you go. Green flag is in the air. Oh, Trevor Ellingson up hard into the wall at the top of 1 and 2. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. And Mark Simon goes around in 3 and 4, but the yellow was already out. The 42 of Trevor Ellingson hard into the wall. You're about to lose a tire. I think that right front wheel's a little kabunkered. I know, I just made that word up. It'll be all right. Here we go, out of turn number 4. The lights are down. Green flag is out. Down into turn 3, Mark Simon goes around. And he's going to keep it rolling. It is the 17 of Andrew Roark, was your race leader. Now Justin McDowell coming. Oh, Houston gets in the back of Roark. Derek Davis going to make it 3 wide. Pure pandemonium at its finest. As Derek Davis slingshots up to battle it out for that number 1 spot. Now it is Derek Davis and Justin McDowell battling it out for the race lead. Andrew Roark going to be sitting in that number 3 spot. Chad Nivens going to be sitting in 4th. Mark Simon back here in 5th. Out of turn number 4, it is still Derek Davis by a bumper. Justin McDowell out front. Down the back stretch and into 3 they're going to go. They're going to see the white flag coming out of turn number 4. Derek Davis, Carling. Can he hold on? Justin McDowell, it's time to make it or break it right here as they're going to go down the back stretch. Drag race. The drive is on to the bottom of turn 3. Andrew Roark's there. He's going to try to make something happen. Checkered flag for the 14 to Derek Davis. Justin McDowell, Andrew Roark, your top three. Heat number 2, ladies and gentlemen, about to roll out. Going to be the 13 of Greg Dykstra on the pole, and to his outside the 0 of James Reedus. Row number 2 is going to be the 26 of Preston McDowell, and the 21 of Peyton McDowell. Row number 3 is going to be the 68 of Rhonda Lamkey, and the 32 of Richard Adams. At turn 4, green flag is in the air. As they're going to go down to the 1 and 2. James Reedus, Peyton McDowell, Richard Adams, 3 wide for that number 1 spot. Oh, Richard Adams goes around. Reedus almost loops it. And that's a yellow. Yellow flag. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. All right, we're going to do a single file restart. 1 lap down, 7 to go. Peyton McDowell going to be out front. Rhonda Lamkey, James Reedus, and Richard Adams round out the field. Flag is out and in the air. Peyton McDowell going to try to run away as he's going to try to get as much separation. Reedus up into the top. He's going to bring it back down. Richard Adams going to scoot on by into second. They're going to go down through 3 and 4. It is Peyton McDowell, your race leader. Richard Adams, James Reedus, and then Lamkey. James Reedus, that man is no stranger to the high side. He likes to dance with the devil up there. He's going to try to make it happen tonight. Peyton McDowell going to be out front in the wagon. It's still Peyton McDowell out front. Richard Adams in that second spot. James Reedus third, and Rhonda Lamkey rounds out the field in the number 4 spot. A lot of separation between the cars. through 3 and 4. They're going to go. They're going to come out of turn number 4. You're going to see 2 more to go for the 21 of Peyton McDowell. Can the 32 of Richard Adams run him down? Or will McDowell hold on and steal the win? White flag waves for the white car. The 21 of Peyton McDowell going to get the white flag. Richard Adams second, James Reedus third, and Rhonda Lamke sits in that 4th spot. Into 3 out of 4 for the final time. Checkered flag for the 21 of Peyton McDowell. Richard Adams, James Reedus, your top 3. That's going to wrap up your pure stocks. Are you guys having fun so far? Okay, I need to hear noise. I can't hear your heads rattle. Are you guys having fun so far? Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Here we go. POWRi Hornets. 1 heat. On the pole is going to be the 93 of Down and Dirty, Daniel Barton. And on his outside, the 2 of Justin Day. Row number 2 is going to be the 3M of Bobby Mooney, into his outside, the 11 of Martin Jennings. Row 3, you got the 18K of Connor Reed and the 2M of Corbin Mooney. And then row number 4 is going to be the 18 of Max Dunn and the 25 of Rhett Edgar. Okay, so the 18 of Max Dunn unable to start the heat race. Where you going? Races ain't over yet. All right, here we go. Down into turn number 3. As they go through 3, Day Barton leads them out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air. Daniel Barton going to lead them on down on a 1 and 2. Justin Day's going to be right there, going to cross them over. Day's got to run out of 2 down the back stretch. Daniel Barton going to sit in that number 2 spot. Here comes the 18K of Connor Reed. Oh, here comes Max Dunn. Max Dunn onto the speedway. It is Justin Day, your race leader. Daniel Barton, Bobby Mooney, that's your top 3. Connor Reed sits in 4th. Corbin Mooney 5th. Oh, Connor Reed got into Mooney. But they're clean and clear. We're going to stay rolling. As Justin Day starting to walk away with this one. Daniel Barton holds on to 2nd. Bobby Mooney sits in that number 3 spot. And Bobby Mooney is all over the back bumper there of Daniel Barton. Connor Reed comes in. Oh, almost touches Mooney. Mooney slides up in front of Barton. You got a new number 2. Now Connor Reed trying to get around the 93 of Daniel Barton. As Reed's going to have the 3rd position as they go down the back stretch. Now Reed goes in there again. Almost makes contact with Mooney again. Down in a 1 and 2 they go. Justin Day, he's gone. See you, bye-bye. Right now I'm looking at Bobby Mooney and Connor Reed battling for 2nd, 3rd. Now Corbin Mooney coming up in there as he's going to poke his nose in and try to crack the top 3. Connor Reed still trying to get around the 3M of Bobby as Justin Day's getting the white flag. One more trip around. Coming out of turn number 4, Connor Reed up into that number 2 spot. The young gun driver, now the father-son team's going to duke it out. Oh, watch Bobby Mooney try to put a move on Reed as they're going to go down into 3 and 4. Coming out of turn 4, checkered flag for Justin Day. Connor Reed 2nd, Bobby Mooney 3rd. Here we go. Midwest Modifieds on the pole is going to be the 23 of Mark Simon, and to his outside the 51 of Sean Henson. Row 2 is going to be the 65 junior of Carter Jackson and the 0 of Dakota Gerard. Row 3 is going to be the 83 of Ben Newell and the 17 of Garrett Parker. Row 4 the 27 of Terry Williams and the 16A of Shannon Geller. And riding shotgun in row number 5, the 75 of Colby Lathrop. Down the back stretch we go into 3. Simon on the pole. Green flag is in the air. Mark Simon out front. Here comes Dakota Gerard up into the number 2 spot. As the 51 of Sean Henson sits there in 3rd. Ben Newell round up the 4th. Garrett Parker rounds out your top 5. Turn 4, it is still Mark Simon, Dakota Gerard, Ben Newell, Sean Henson, and Garrett Parker, your top 5, followed in by Terry Williams, Carter Jackson, Colby Lathrop, and Shannon Geller. Here we go, yellow flag, yellow is out for the 75 of LaForte. Here we go, coming out of turn number 4. Green flag is back in the air. Mark Simon leads him on down to 1 and 2. Ben Newell coming on the top shelf. Sean Henson down on the bottom side. Dakota Gerard bobbled it, and he let a couple cars squeak by. As Mark Simon, your racer, Garrett Parker goes around. And 3 and 4 hits the green cone, stays rolling. Ben Newell battling it out with Sean Henson there for the number 2 spot. While Mark Simon's trying to get away from everybody. Ben Newell going to get that number 2 spot. Oh, Simon might have bobbled it a little bit through 1 and 2. Right now, the battle on the track is between the 51 of Sean Henson and the 83 of Ben Newell. Out of Carly, Terry Williams sits in that number 4 spot. Shannon Geller up the 5th as Dakota Gerard is shuffled back into the number 6 spot. It's all Mark Big Daddy Simon out front as he's going to cross the stripe. Going to see 2 more trips around. Parker loops it around in turn 2. Yellow is out. So the 17 of Garrett Parker looped it around there in turn 2. as he may have trouble. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. So it is Mark Big Daddy Simon, your race leader. Ben Newell sits in second. Sean Henson third. Terry Williams fourth. And Shannon Geller rounds out your top five. Then you got Dakota Gerard, Carter Jackson, and Colby Lathrop. All right, lights are down. They're going to be green flag when we come out of turn number 4. Down into 3, fill the work on into 4, out of 4, green flag is in the air. Mark Simon leads him on down to 1 and 2 with 2 to go. Ben Newell sits in second. Sean Henson way up the track. Geller and Williams going to come up. Geller's all drifting around the track here. 1 lap to go for Mark Simon. Ben Newell second. Terry Williams third. Henson fourth. Gerard fifth. As they're going to go down the back stretch. Now to turn 4, checkered flag for the 23 of Mark Simon. Ben Newell and Terry Williams, your top 3. That's going to wrap up heat number 1. Up next, going to be our second and final heat for your Midwest Modifieds. On the pole, going to be the 7 of William Garner into his outside, the 8K of Tyler Knunston. Row number 2, going to be the 17R of Logan Roark and the 7C of Derek Cook. Row number 3 is going to be the 28D of Dylan Dampier and the 34C of Jake Carter. Row number 4 going to be the 15R of Oakley Ragland and the 44R of Randall Cushing. Here we go, down into 3, final heat race of the evening. Green flag is in the air. As William Garner leads them on down to the 1 and 2. Logan Roark going to be right there in the 17. Tyler Knunston sits in 3rd. Derek Cook 4th, and Jake Carter, the wheelman, 5th. Now Logan Roark going to battle it out and challenge William Garner for the race lead as they come out of turn 4. Got him, new race leader, the 17R Logan Roark. Logan Roark, your race leader. William Garner second. Tyler Knunston sits in 3rd, but now Knunston trying to get up and around that 7, or should I say down and around, as they're all on the bottom side catfishing. Oakley Ragland sitting in that number 4 spot. Jake Carter 5th. Derek Cook 6th. Top 3 pulling away from the field. As your middle 3 are right there in the middle of the field. Logan Roark, your race leader. William Garner holds on to that number 2 spot. They're going to cross the stripe. You're going to see 2 more trips around for the 17R Logan rear arc. Tyler Knutston now up into the number 2 spot. William Garner shuffles back to 3rd. Oakley Ragland holds on to 4th. Jake Carter 5th. Out of turn 4, white flag, 1 to go. Uh-oh, Jake Carter goes around coming out of turn number 4. Here comes the checkered flag for the 17R Logan rear arc. Tyler Knutston and William Garner, your top 3.